Good morning. Welcome into the morning wager here on Pick Dawgz, PickDawgz.com, Pick Dawgz YouTube. Mark Zinno with you here on this Monday, November 24th. Coming off a very disappointing weekend, guys. If you jumped on a 3-day package or a 7-day package or tailed along, certainly apologize. Not our best weekend, our first non-profitable weekend, probably in about 6 or 7 weeks. So we look to bounce back here today. You guys know the normal drill of this stuff here is, when you have a down day, you just got to refocus. Lock back in and continue to push your process and hope that it's good and we turn things back around here. So appreciate you guys still having faith and tagging along, but we're going to get this right. We'll get it right fast for you guys as soon as we can. So, but let's turn the page here to the 4 plays that we have for tonight. We'll start with the Monday Night Football game. Panthers team total over 20.5. I keep seeing all the money coming into the over on this thing, and I keep seeing the way that the money is moving. And the Niners total is pushing 30. So when we're at a total of 50 here, it's better to take in my opinion, the dog in this case with a lower total for them to go over, because that's the best part, or the easiest way that this total goes over is if the Panthers do their part here, right? It's pure game script when you kind of break this down from a handicapping standpoint. Look at the Panthers here to get over their team total of 20.5. I mean, if there's a world where you can move the line a little bit down to 19.5 and pay a little bit more juice, sure. Because 2 field goals, 2 touchdowns to get you home. And in theory, going over 19.5 is easier than 20.5 as a third touchdown. But in reality, again, if this game breaks out the way it's supposed to, and the Niners are going to end up covering this thing and it goes over, that's because the Panthers are pushing 21 or more. This is a 31-23 kind of final. And that's the way this thing ends. So let's go Panthers, team total over 20.5. We got 2 college basketball games on the slate, guys. A lot of college basketball games out there right now to to look at. Some of these small little tournaments are going out all over the country, but ones to focus on here: Gonzaga, Alabama over 174.5. This is actually a low total for an Alabama game. I thought this thing would have pushed about 178, 179, given the opponent, particularly in Gonzaga, a really high-scoring team here. Alabama is coming off a game last time out where their total was like 186 or whatever it was, and it was just remarkably high, and they didn't even get close the last time Alabama was out. Hold on, I'm going to get this for you guys here in a second just so I can refresh my memory. But I remember looking at that total for the Alabama game going, wow, that's against Illinois. That's right, it was a huge total. I remember going, wow, that's a really high number. Both these teams are getting a 90. I was like, no way, it doesn't feel like it happens. Anyway, Illinois won 90-86. It stayed under. But I think they get back here again. Gonzaga typically has been much better at home. This game is in Las Vegas. But when you talk about Gonzaga, 98, 83, 90, 77 against ASU in a much slower game that finished 77-65. But that was on the road at ASU. And then they scored 122 last time out. But the game script, again, goes that this thing is tight. They're pushing each other late. I think they both get to 85 here, and we are pushing 170, and we get fouls and free throws the rest of the way out. That gets us over here. So it wouldn't shock me that we're in the high 70s here with like 2 minutes left, and we get into a foul scenario and things go back and forth that way, and that pushes us over here. So Alabama and Gonzaga over 174.5, and then we're going to kind of go off the beaten path here with our next game. Probably not a game that you guys had on your radar at all, but Youngstown State -1.5 over Georgia Southern. So again, if you've been following some of these tournaments that have been going on, this is a game here that nobody looked at. But yesterday, Youngstown played, and they lost to UNC Greensboro. Now, Georgia Southern here is off a 3-day break. They haven't played in this Jacksonville Classic tournament yet, and Youngstown did yesterday. Believe it or not, I think that actually helps Youngstown here. Youngstown can push the pace and they can score. They average about 10 threes a game. They were favored yesterday against UNC Greensboro by 5.5, lost outright. I think this is a good bounce back spot. And mostly there was a big disparity here between the Horizon League and the Sun Belt. And that's the other thing I'm looking at. I know Youngstown played yesterday, but they could have tired legs. But with the number being this short, give me the better team, the better shooting team, against a really bad Georgia Southern defense that gives up 87 points a game. Youngstown State looking to bounce back. I think they do tonight. So we'll Lay it on the money line here at minus 135, or lay the 1.5, whatever you're more comfortable with. And then finally in the NBA tonight, let's go with the Raptors plus 2.5 at home. Are we sure that Cleveland is the better team here between these two? Because I'm not sure that they are. I just don't, I mean, the Raptors have been the most surprising team in the NBA this year. You got 12-6 Cleveland Cavaliers and 12-5 Toronto Raptors. Raptors have won, I think, 5 straight at home. They've won 7 straight overall at this point in time. They have really surged. They haven't lost at home since the end of October. So it's been a long time, basically a month where they haven't lost at home. And their last loss was Wednesday, October 29th against Houston, which was a really good team. So now, granted, they've only had like 5 home games since then, but point simply is I'm not sure that Cleveland is a better team here. I'm going to get a home dog. I'm going to take the 2.5 here, and we'll back the Raptors to get through for us tonight. So let's go over the 4 again. Panthers team total over 20.5 in Monday Night Football. College hoops, Gonzaga, Alabama over 174.5, and Youngstown State money line, Youngstown State minus 1.5, and then the NBA Raptors plus 2.5. We'll get some plays up for you guys here over my previous best value you guys can get out there on the board. So appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. We're back in tomorrow with another video. Good luck tonight on all your games. Go cash some tickets. We'll talk to you tomorrow.